They said it was the quickest route to sugar-soaked disaster. For decades, countless health experts warned that sweet drinks would unleash a cascade of problems, not least of which was the dreaded threat of dementia in older adults. But guess what? A groundbreaking new study has just shaken this conventional wisdom by suggesting that sugary or artificially sweetened beverages might not, yes, might not, increase the risk of dementia in seniors. Astonishing, right? This revelation has reverberated through the health world, leaving many scratching their heads and wondering, how can something long seen as the perfect villain turn out to be more of a neutral bystander? Today we will delve into the depths of this extraordinary discovery. Could sweet beverages, so vilified by doctors and dietitians alike, be less threatening to the aging mind than we once believed? And if this surprising new evidence holds up, how does it reconcile with the flood of prior research linking sugar to all kinds of ailments? Buckle up, because in this episode we will reveal the remarkable details of a massive study led by Zhejiang University School of Medicine in China, in collaboration with several American researchers, published in the high-profile medical journal JAMA Psychiatry. We will map out the participants involved, the dietary tracking methods they employed, and the overall implications for every older adult who wants to preserve cognitive sharpness. In this riveting journey, we will examine how the investigators gathered data from over 10,000 participants aged 65 and above, following them for more than 10 years, to see whether sugar-laden or artificially sweetened drinks really triggered dementia at higher rates. We will trace the steps of the scientific team as they strove to eliminate potential confounders, ensuring that exercise habits, overall diet, and existing health conditions did not skew the results. More importantly, we will explore whether these findings truly free sweet drinks from all blame, or whether there might be a deeper mystery lingering beneath the surface. By the end of this investigation, you will possess a clearer, more nuanced understanding of sugar's relationship to the aging brain. But first, let us acknowledge that the fear of sugar is not some baseless panic whipped up to sell you sugar-free candies. Through years of research, scientists have uncovered strong links between high sugar intake and obesity, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and even certain cardiovascular complications. Animal studies have shown worrisome patterns in the brain, such as higher levels of beta-amyloid buildup and alterations to apolipoprotein E that can set the stage for Alzheimer's disease. So, how have we gone from that to this unexpected pronouncement that older adults who sip sweet drinks might not be facing the cognitive apocalypse once predicted? There must be a crucial piece of the puzzle here, and we are about to zero in on it. Everyone wants to know, is sugar truly off the hook, at least when it comes to dementia in seniors? If this question intrigues you as much as it intrigues us, kindly give this video a like. That small gesture shows us that you are curious about these surprising revelations and eager to learn more. It also helps us continue delivering content that investigates the difference between assumed wisdom and actual evidence. Ready to keep going? Then prepare yourself, because the real story is about to get even more fascinating. Let us begin by unpacking the specifics. The group of researchers from Zhejiang University School of Medicine worked together with American experts to merge 6 massive U.S. studies into one. Altogether, they tracked the lives and habits of more than 10,974 individuals, all at least 65 years old, with an average age of 73 and around 60% women. This is one of the largest samples of its kind. Over more than 10 years, participants were subjected to medical checkups, memory evaluations, and thorough screenings for dementia. Anyone who developed dementia within 2 years of registering was excluded from the final analysis to ensure that those on the cusp of the condition would not color the results. This sophisticated approach aimed to keep the data crystal clear. From there, the team turned its attention to sugary beverages, such as sodas, fruit punches, and sweet teas, as well as their diet versions filled with artificial sweeteners. Each participant completed detailed dietary surveys, validated for accuracy, so the scientists could categorize them by frequency of consumption. The data collection process was meticulous. Cross-validation techniques, thorough checks against medical records, and robust statistical modeling were put in place to make sure that trivial oversights or memory lapses did not skew the results. And here comes the twist that rattled so many expectations. After that decade-plus follow-up, 2,445 people in the study developed dementia. Yet the researchers found no significantly heightened risk for those who routinely enjoyed sweet drinks. whether sugary or artificially sweetened, compared to those who rarely or never drank them. Indeed, the hazard ratio for the group that drank sugar-sweetened beverages daily hovered around 0.9, suggesting a slightly lower and statistically negligible risk. Meanwhile, devotees of artificially sweetened beverages had a hazard ratio of 1.0, implying no direct impact at all. Could it be that sugar, so frequently maligned for its potential to ravage the body, simply does not behave as dangerously in the mental realm once people reach older adulthood? Are we dealing with a case of sugar's negative health dividends already having been paid out earlier in life, rendering these golden years a less perilous stage? The research team was understandably cautious in declaring victory for sugar, but they did convey that for seniors, the presence or absence of a daily sweet beverage may not be the direct trigger for dementia some once feared. Now, that definitely does not mean one ought to gleefully embrace an all-sugar diet. Almost every health authority will caution you against too many sweeteners, whether real or artificial, because they can still ramp up the risk of heart disease, weight gain, and blood sugar spikes that hamper the body's performance in countless ways. The difference here is that this particular study did not link those drinks to cognitive deterioration in seniors. Could that be a fluke, or are we dealing with an age-related phenomenon that operates outside the rulebook created by earlier animal-based findings? That is precisely where it gets interesting. If you are fascinated by these revelations and do not want to miss future deep dives into how modern research perpetually reshapes our lifestyles, consider subscribing right now. We promise to keep you updated on the newest findings in nutrition, brain science, and healthy aging. After all, knowledge is a powerful tool in making informed decisions about your day-to-day habits, and we cannot wait to share more exciting discoveries with you. Returning to our story, let us talk about how the researchers double-checked their methods. They decided to use a known winner for brain health, the Mediterranean diet. Past studies have repeatedly confirmed that this vegetable and whole grain-rich meal plan can lower the likelihood of serious ailments ranging from cardiovascular disease to certain neurological conditions. In this massive analysis, participants who adhered more closely to a Mediterranean diet unsurprisingly had lower dementia rates, confirming that the study's detection methods were appropriate. In other words, if sweet drinks truly posed a serious dementia risk, it likely would have emerged from this thorough data set the way the Mediterranean diet link did. Yet all that glitters is not necessarily gold. One of the critical limitations is that these findings concern older adults. For younger folks, the story may play out quite differently. It is well known that major health problems such as obesity, insulin resistance, and blood vessel damage can accumulate relentlessly over multiple decades, often beginning as early as childhood or adolescence. By the time someone is 70, the wheels may be set in motion, making it difficult to see a cause and effect link for sweet drinks during that later stage. Alternatively, perhaps those who reach this advanced age while still consuming sugary beverages did not carry the same genetic predispositions that would have rendered them at higher risk. The point is, there is plenty left to investigate before sugar can be considered a fully neutral party in the war against dementia. Consider this scenario. If you have two people in midlife, one consumes several sugary drinks per day, while the other sticks to water or unsweetened tea, they could be on completely different health trajectories by retirement age. By the time they hit 70, the foundation for their respective cognitive futures may well be sealed, meaning incremental sugar consumption in older adulthood might not budge the dementia dial. This perspective underscores the intricacy of studying dementia risk, highlighting how aspects of one's life course can influence how various risk factors manifest, or fail to manifest, in later years. As for artificially sweetened beverages, the debate has been similarly intense, with some experts warning about potential disruptions to gut microbiota, insulin regulation, and appetite control. But again, the study returned a largely neutral verdict on dementia risk, providing some relief for people who have swapped out sugary sodas for zero-sugar alternatives. Still, we should bear in mind that these beverages come with their own question marks. Are they wholly benign in the grand scheme of health? The research is ongoing, and the puzzle pieces are still sliding into place. For the moment, we can conclude that they likely pose no dramatic threat to cognitive integrity in seniors, but that conclusion does not necessarily hold across all other health parameters. In the bigger picture, this conversation underscores how challenging it can be for regular individuals to navigate the clashing viewpoints of so many studies. One paper claims sugar is the root of all evil, only to be overshadowed by another that downplays those concerns, at least within a certain context. The takeaway here is that dementia, as a condition influenced by genetics, environment, lifestyle, and overall health, may not be driven solely by what is in your glass. It would be naive, of course, to think that a sweet beverage confers any meaningful nutrition, but it might be equally naive to believe it single-handedly guarantees irreversible cognitive decline. The body is complex, the brain even more so, and each day we refine our understanding bit by bit. Of course, skeptics point to the possibility that the subset of older adults drinking sweet beverages daily might carry some unique profiles. Maybe they inherited gene variants protective against dementia or maintain exercise routines that overshadow the mild damage sugar might do. That is why observational research, no matter how large, cannot completely prove cause and effect. Any correlations it reveals must be weighed against confounders that are tough to measure or even to imagine. So, we are left with an intriguing result that sweet beverages do not appear to elevate older adults' dementia risk, but also with the thrumming awareness that confirmation bias, genetic quirks, or subtle lifestyle traits could still be playing a larger role. In the final analysis, we have this surprising slice of hope for older adults who fear that every can of cola might bump their risk of memory decline. While the study does not give you license to guzzle soda without restraint, it does hint that by the time you have journeyed far enough into life's timeline, your susceptibility to sugar's mental ravages may be less potent than once imagined. Still, sugar remains fuel for obesity, heart disease, and diabetes, conditions that can obliquely influence the health of your brain in myriad ways. The overarching lesson is that healthy living cannot be pinned on a single factor. Overall dietary patterns, physical and mental activity, social engagement, and a variety of other elements shape whether or not dementia eventually comes knocking. All eyes now turn toward the future, where more refined studies can pinpoint precisely how sugar interacts with the aging brain. The authors of this current research recommend looking at younger populations over a longer time span, tracing the effects of sweet drinks from age 20 or 30 all the way into old age. Only then can we hope to distinguish whether sugar quietly plants seeds of cognitive trouble long before the first sign of memory slips, or if individual resiliency factors can short-circuit such a process. One thing is for sure, the story does not end here, and the tension between sugar's suspected harms and neutral findings will continue to intrigue scientists for years to come. Picture the swirling intersection of genetics, lifestyle, diet, mental stimulation, and environmental factors all shaping one's destiny. Dementia is, by its very nature, a puzzle of many pieces, some still missing, some partially revealed, and some undiscovered. This study adds one more dimension, that the role of sweetened beverages in older adults may be smaller than we had assumed, at least in direct correlation to dementia. The next step is to expand our lens and look earlier and deeper, exploring how the seeds of cognitive decline are planted. In the meantime, seniors can read these findings, acknowledge their potential significance, and perhaps not fret so severely about that occasional can of soda. Though, as always, caution is the watchword. Sugary drinks can still sabotage metabolic health, clog arteries through the years, or pack on pounds. Even if the direct link to dementia is not there, major health organizations remain steadfast in promoting water or unsweetened beverages as daily staples. Think of sugar as the spice of life. A dash here or there can enhance enjoyment, but an overdose might sour the entire experience. Plus, there is an undeniable satisfaction in subtle flavors, fresh fruits, and high-quality ingredients, all of which can support overall well-being. Now, if you have made it this far, let us congratulate you on this mental workout. You have just journeyed through an intricate world of scientific discovery, weaving together research findings that defied common belief. Just remember, there is no monolithic truth in science. It evolves layer by layer as new evidence emerges. And in the ever-changing tapestry of brain health, sugar has proven a uniquely polarizing thread. Who knows what new studies in 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years might uncover to reshape our understanding again? At the conclusion of it all, here is the simplest summary. For older adults, drinking sugary or artificially sweetened beverages does not appear to raise dementia risk, or at least not enough to show up in a carefully crafted, large-scale, long-term study. While that is a relief on one front, it does not erase the myriad other reasons to approach sweet drinks with caution. Moderation, as in so many areas of life, is key. Arm yourself with knowledge, weigh your own risk factors, and adjust accordingly. After all, every body is different, and your mileage may vary. As you mull these data, keep also in mind that public health efforts continue to push for overall better nutrition habits. Early education, balanced meal plans, and consistent medical checkups are vital in the fight against a host of chronic conditions. Dementia is just one piece of a very large puzzle, and it should not be your sole gauge for healthy living. If you found all of this especially eye-opening, we invite you to share it with friends or family members who might still believe that one glass of soda is inevitably going to seal their cognitive fate. The truth, science suggests, is far more complex, nuanced, and yes, hopeful. What is next? The study authors have called for more research, focusing on younger populations and longer timelines. So, we can pinpoint whether those early sugar habits cause ripple effects that only manifest much later. In the interim, seniors can rest a bit easier, knowing that the occasional bit of sweetness is not automatically a ticket to memory loss. But do not disregard broader health guidelines, because the risk of diabetes, excess weight, and heart trouble are still very real. The bottom line is that every choice we make, every sip or bite, contributes in some measure to the canvas of wellness. The less we paint ourselves into a corner with poor decisions, the more vibrant our golden years can be. The years in which we so desperately want to preserve every cherished memory. And there it is, an entire odyssey into the realm of sugary drinks and dementia risk that turned many assumptions upside down. If all this material has sparked your curiosity, do not hesitate to spread the word. Keep educating yourself, ask lots of questions, and never be too quick to accept fear-based narratives as unshakable truth. Science thrives on continually testing and retesting ideas, reshaping them until we reach a more complete portrait of reality. You have been part of that journey, exploring the subtle interactions between tasty beverages and the delicate tapestry of our aging minds. Stay aware, stay thoughtful, and join us next time when we untangle yet another puzzle of modern health.